think so.
Okay.
Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order. It's 7:31 on December 16th. It's a meeting in the Inland Wetlands Agency. First one on the agenda is a show cause hearing and appropriate action regarding 22 Rittman Road, a cease and desist regarding tree clearing and grading in upland review area. It's just there was some clearing done near a stream on the property. Chris went out there and issued a cease and desist. Our purpose tonight only is to whether we affirm or deny or modify the cease and desist order. So is there anyone here on that matter tonight?
Yeah, Patrick Trey is on.
Okay.
Patrick, are you?
I'm here.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so basically, you know, if you want to just tell us what happened, and then we can talk about it. So
Sure. I moved in from North Carolina here on May 1st. And so I was unaware of the regulations for the Inland Wetlands Agency. There are other trees on the property that were dead ashes that I had removed on a different part of the parcel. And I had left this southwestern corner of the property for because it was covered with various fallen trunks, dead trees, and trash from the road, and that sort of thing. I didn't want to actually touch it. And so until I was able to get a lot of the other activities done, moving in and that sort of thing, began to take a look at this part of the property. Is just the corner down there. And what I wanted to do was to be able to get in, remove some of the brush so I could actually get back into the trash, and then remove the dead tree trunks that have fallen down over the course of many years, I would guess, plus other items, branches and things that have fallen down various storms, I think, in the past. I think their previous owner may have dumped a lot of the brush and everything that had come down. I wanted to remove that kind of stuff. And in the process, I thought, well, if I'm doing that, I want to, you know, pretty it up a bit. I want to make sure that it's actually cleaner so I can actually have access to it, remove the trash that comes in, that gets blown in off the street. And so I contacted a couple of landscapers to have them come out and give me an idea of what they could do. And each of them had said, well, this is a wetland area, but they never said anything about regulations or anything like that. And I said, okay, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, that means I have to be careful of what gets planted there, because it won't take. And so what I wanted to do was find out more about that. But they suggested that in order for them to get an idea of what to do, we would need to clear out that area, the brush and the dead trees and the trunks that have fallen down, and remove some of the dead trees so that we get an idea of what to do. So one of the landscapers gave me a person who said he had the proper equipment and that sort of thing to actually work on that part of that kind of terrain. I said, okay, give me his number. I call him up. He comes in, he gives me an estimate, and I said, okay, let's get started. So he was in the process of removing those dead trees that had holes in them. There are others that had broken limbs that he was cutting down for me. And when I think one of you had come by and had seen this and notified Chris, and she came by to tell us to stop. So what I have now is a bunch of tree limbs and debris only in worse condition than before because of where we were in the process. And no, it was my intention, not in my intention to in any way to disrupt or the town is going to see that part of the property. And I just wanted to make sure that that it looked good.
We often have property owners who are just sort of unaware of what can't be done. The thing is, your landscaper or your landscape architect or designer certainly should have known what should have been done. I guess the problem more is that there was heavy equipment in that area. Typically we have no problem with people removing dead trees, of course, trash and that kind of thing, or even restoring or making nicer a wetland area, but they just have to do it in a certain way. And so when there were tractors in going through this whole wetland area, pulling stuff out, they're making things more unstable at a time of year where they can't be stabilized. That's really what the problem was. But we'd be happy to work with you as far as coming up, reviewing a plan as to what you intend to do with the area. But as we'll deal with it on another matter, this really isn't the time of year that can be done and stabilized for the winter. So that's basically the problem. So
right, yeah, he was in the process after he cut down it had these trunks and branches there. He had this device that was a claw that was actually feeding the chipper, wood chipper, and which is what we wanted. We wanted to get all those wood chips back into the wetland to settle in and actually fortify the area if there was going to be the additional planting or anything.
yeah, the the purpose for this evening is basically just to have the committee to affirm the cease and desist order. It's not really to take any other action, but what we may want to recommend is have you meet with Chris and your landscaping people, provided we can even see the ground after tomorrow, and to the extent that you can pull the brush out by hand rather than have machines in that area, chipping it up and leaving the chips in that area will help for the winter. But I'll defer to Chris on what she thinks is a good plan going forward. But like I said, we just wanted to hear what the story was tonight, and then we basically vote to either deny or affirm the cease and desist order, and then you can work with Chris after that. Other people may have comments or questions, so I won't monopolize the discussion. So,
Okay.
Anybody else?
Hi, yeah, this is Jack. I would have a question for Chris. Since you've seen the place, is there anything that should be done to stabilize what's been, if you will, unstabilized, that it would be an interim thing until the full execution of a plan?
I did not walk down where the machine was when I was there. So given what we're getting tomorrow, at the moment, it's okay. But as soon as the snow, diminishes, I'm going to have to go look at it, because this is a time of year where if those, the tracks from the machine that were in there are actually disturb the soil, he may need to put, I had mentioned to Bob earlier, and it's in the report that you have for Wolf Tree, there's a type of erosion control that doesn't need to be dug in like the silt fence. It's actually a tube that's got chips in it that you lay down in place and stake, and then it holds back the erosion from getting into the stream, because there is an active stream right in that area.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's what we don't want, is the material getting in that stream.
Correct. So it sounds like
So, with the snowstorm, we're okay. As soon as it clears, I can meet with Patrick and we can take a look-see at it and see if anything needs to be laid down for the winter.
okay.
Anyone else have any questions? Otherwise, we'll just vote on sustaining the cease and desist order.
Yeah, I have no questions. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Do we need a mo-
Yeah, we need a motion to approve, to affirm the cease and desist order.
I'll make a motion to affirm the cease and desist order.
And I will second it.
Okay, so Barry seconded, Jack moved, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions? All right, so, Mr. Trey, what we'll do is, once the snow goes away, if it does, Chris will be in touch with you, and we'll see if there's anything that needs to be done just to stabilize things until the spring. And then what I would suggest is, you just have your architect, or, even, you don't have to get too carried away, but if you have a landscape person who has a suggestion as to how that's going to be maintained or restored, just come in early next year with that plan, and then we'll review it. So,
What time of year would be good then? Is it something like a March thing or?
yeah, probably starting in March would be a good time to get the situation moving forward.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
And again, we're not looking to be critical of you. There are a lot of homeowners who just don't realize what kind of restrictions are on property or in the wetlands area. So,
Okay. So when I was also in the receipt of from Chris a copy or a scan of the application with the plan, and I noted that there was a requirement to send almost like certified mail or something to my neighbors. Is that also part of the process? So I need to continue with that?
when you file the application, after the winter's over, that would be part of the process. Yeah.
Okay, so something like a text message won't do it. I have to do a mail.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the rigs are still old-fashioned in that regard. So,
All right.
Patrick, this is a certificate of mailing, so it's not the green card. And it's just to be able to have proof that you did something, so that when somebody says that they didn't get notice, we can show them the certificate of mailing that says that they did.
Okay.
Okay, and I can help you with that.
All right. Thank you.
Okay,
thank you for your cooperation.
No, I'm glad to cooperate. I want to make sure that we do it right.
Okay. All right.
Great.
Thanks again.
Good. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Okay, moving right along. Next item on the agenda under new business, 181 Ford Road, application for residential site development of the lot. And who do we have on that?
that should be Ken
Yes, that's me. That's
Keith Buddha.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about what your plan is.
Sure, absolutely. Evening, members of the commission. My name is Keith Buddha, licensed engineer in the state of Connecticut with Pereira Engineering, located in Shelton. I'm representing the applicant, NHB Associates LLC, with regard to this application before you for residential site development for the property at 181 Ford Road. Just to give you a little background on the property is situated on the south side of Ford Road, between Chestnut Lane to the west and Northup Road to the east. Total parcel acre is about 1.5 acres, and the property is currently undeveloped, consisting primarily of an open lawn and forested areas. The site contains an inland wetland and perennial stream with forested area that crosses the southern portion of the property, generally flowing from northwest to southeast. Total area of wetlands on the property is approximately 0.1. The wetland and watercourse report can be found in Appendix B of the drainage calculations report that was submitted with the site plans. The topography of the site generally slopes from a high elevation of approximately 401 in the northwest corner to a low elevation of approximately 374 at the southeast corner of the property. If you're able to look at sheet C1, which is the site plan, the applicant's proposing to construct a 5-bedroom residence along with an associated paved driveway and related site grading. The residence will be served by a well and subsurface sewage disposal system. The subsurface sewage disposal system is located in the northeast portion of the property, with the proposed residence off to the west of the system. The subsurface sewage disposal system has been reviewed and approved by the Quinnipiac Valley Health District at this time. With regards to stormwater runoff, to address the increase in runoff from the proposed improvements on the property, stormwater management system has been provided and is situated to the south of the proposed residence and south of the subsurface sewage disposal system. The system has been designed based on the Connecticut Stormwater Quality Manual and consists of underground chambers surrounded with stone. The stormwater management system has been designed to mitigate the increase in runoff for the 1, 2, 10, 25, 50, and 100-year storm events, and includes stormwater quality improvements and groundwater recharge. Design calculations for the stormwater management system can be found in Appendix A of the drainage calculations report included with the site plans. Also shown on the site plan are soil erosion and sediment controls, which have been prepared in accordance with the Connecticut guidelines for soil erosion and sediment control. In addition to the soil erosion and sediment controls shown on the site plan, there's additional notes, a narrative, and a sequence of construction, which all can be found on sheet 2, which is entitled Details, along with the associated construction details related to the development of the site. That's essentially my brief overview, introduction of the project. I'd be glad to answer any questions at this time.
So it looks like the only thing within the 100-foot review area is your stormwater detention. Is that correct? Or and a little bit of grading?
There's a portion of the house and the driveway that's within the 100-foot regulated area as well.
Oh, okay. All right.
The septic system is not within the 100-foot regulated area.
Right. Actually, it's a fairly extensive plan. So what we typically do, we'll send this off to Criscollo Engineering for their comment and review, but it looks like a very thorough plan and backed up with material. Is the stream an all year round stream, or is it intermittent, or?
It's a perennial stream.
Yeah.
So it's, it's continually running. If you can see on the site plan, it starts, upstream. It starts on the north side of Ford Road, passes through a culvert under Ford Road, continues pretty much parallel to the western boundary of the property, but on the adjoining property, and then it, takes a turn to the southeast, and that's where it crosses 181 Ford Road towards the southern end of the property.
So it's probably the case that a good portion of the house on the west side of the property is probably also within the 100-foot review area of the stream that's off-site, then, correct?
When I was out on site, yes, it looks like it's, not too far on the west side of the stream.
Yeah, it looks like half the house is in the upland review area. Okay.
Is it possible to tilt the house a little bit more away from the western property line? Or?
It would be a function of, how close can we get to the septic system.
Septic system, yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
We felt as though where we've placed the septic system was the best spot on the property for the septic system to keep it away from the stream or the wetlands to the west and to the south.
Right.
If you can kind of follow the contours, there's kind of a divide that starts in the northwest corner of the property and kind of cuts through the middle and goes towards the east. And there's kind of a ridge there. So, we're keeping the septic system to the north of that ridge and putting our drainage system to the south. But shifting the house, it's, you know, I'd have to look at it with regard to the septic system.
A question about where the house and the septic system are. Was that grass or was that heavily treed, or what was or what is the current?
Well, if you're looking at the site plan, you can see the tree line. It kind of runs through the middle of the house and then along the back of the house. So the septic system and half of the house, I would say, is in the open lawn area.
So you'll be removing, are they small trees, big trees, or?
There's a couple larger trees which are identified on the site plan. So just looking at it, you know, we have one 36-inch tree or 30-inch tree that we'll be removing to install the septic system, but the other large trees in the open lawn area are staying. The majority of the trees
I don't want them to know we're there. I just want to watch something on YouTube.
wooded area are smaller in caliber.
And the removal of all those trees and the impervious areas have gone into the flow calculations, I presume.
Oh, yes, absolutely, yeah.
Is the stormwater management system, is that require maintenance? How does that work briefly?
The system would typically have inspection ports on it that you could, you know, see down into the system itself. But yeah, there would be regular maintenance. There'd be maintenance on the yard drain structure, and then there'd be periodic maintenance on the stormwater management system itself.
This is a question for Chris, and I know we've addressed it before. Since those things will require maintenance, is there any way to get some of that into the deed of the property so a subsequent owner will know what has to be done or know that work has to be done to maintain those systems?
You've made it a requirement of other permits that that language be recorded as part of the deed. And to make sure that we know that that's been done, then they have to furnish us with a copy of the deed once it's recorded.
Okay. If we can include that when we get to that point in time.
Anyone else have any questions?
I guess the only other question is how much it's temporary topsoil stockpile. Is there going to be what, cut and fill in here, or you're obviously going to dig a basement, I would presume?
Right, the house does have a walkout. You know, we've kind of positioned the house to work with the topography such that the eastern side of the residence is a walkout in the basement. The grading that you see, the site is balanced. So the stockpile that you're referring to is, you know, really just for topsoil that's going to be stripped from the property and then reused for the final grading.
Okay. Yeah, and let's see, I'm trying. What sort of landscaping will be behind the house? And are there any, I can't tell if those are decks there, or are there going to be decks or anything
The
of
plan
that?
at this time does not show any decks. Those are patios or a patio.
Okay.
As far as the landscaping, well, the landscaping will consist of the existing woodland up to the limit of disturbance.
Okay.
So you'll still have that buffer to the stream, to the wetland area.
So basically, at the rear of the house, you'll be filling about 8 feet at the high point down to the grade then, huh?
Approximately, yeah.
Yeah. Anybody else have any questions? Otherwise, we'll send this off to Jim to take a look at.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's I think is the next step.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. Does anyone want to talk about whether a site visit is necessary? Not that we don't see much for a while, but if we could talk about that part of it later.
Yeah.
But otherwise, well, if there are no other questions, we'll just continue this and send it to Jim to take a look at and review.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Anybody else?
Nope, it's good by me.
Okay. All right, then. What we'll do is we'll send it over to our consulting engineer. He'll be in touch with you with any questions, and then we'll just continue this matter till next month.
Great, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a good evening.
You too. Take care. Okay, next item, 38 Hunting Hill Road, application residential site development of property. Mr. Garcia, is this yours?
Yes, sir. This is a property, approximately 8.5 acres on Hunting Hill Road. It's been split via the first split ordinance, so the owner wants to develop a approximately 2-acre parcel to the west side of the property. I don't know, is there any way I can share the plans or?
I can share with you. I can give it to you and you can share your screen.
Okay, how do you do that?
Well, I just gave it to you, so I don't know.
Type share? I don't know, hold the phone. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Wait a second. I've never done this before, so you have to. Yeah, let me see. Can I share that? Let's see. Uh,
You got it.
okay, now I can't see it.
Well, we can.
We can see the plan, so that's fine.
Okay, well, anyways, what she wants to do is she wants to carve out a piece on the west side of the property, and there's a small created wetland, and right now it's presently mostly all lawn. And she wants to create a house site there. We've already done soils testing. We've already sent it to QVHD for their review. And there's a wetland, there's a small pocket wetland. It looks like it's created some small kind of a pond. And then there's another small wetland at the south side of the property. So that's why we're here in front of the Wetlands Commission, because we have these 2 wetlands on the property. So that's basically it. You're receiving it tonight. It's a very modest house. It's a very small house with a circular driveway and a garage. And that's basically it. Septic system is right here. So
Where's the second or the first? I see the one wetlands area that's marked. Where's
there's one
the other?
here, and then there's one right here. In the lower right hand, at the bottom of the screen, just above the
Yeah,
south
got it.
property line, is it's very small.
But that's on the side that's not going to be changed, right? Or not? Or
That's correct. That's correct.
John Paul, is there actually water in that wetlands area, or is it soil, wetlands by soil?
There was water there a couple of weeks ago, and that's why we had it flagged as a wetland. And it shows up on your GIS as a pond also.
Where does it go to?
What's that?
Where does it go to?
There's no discernible outlet that we saw.
So there's no inlet or outlet. It's a.
Yeah, it's just to take some sheet runoff from the site. That's the best we can determine. You have a wetlands report that was submitted with the application. It was prepared by Bill Kenny.
Okay.
But again, it appears to be just a little pocket wetland that just picks up some stuff from the site.
Okay.
There's no stream coursing through here. There's no, there's nothing of any great shakes.
How large is the house that you're proposing?
About 2,000 square feet. 1925 square feet. So that's approximately 40 by 50.
Awfully small. Is that the way it's going to stay?
I'm sorry, what's that?
It sounds small. Is that the way it's going to stay?
She's the woman that owns the house is downsizing. Mrs. Early lives in this house right here. She's an elderly woman. Right now she's in South Carolina. But when she comes back, she wants to go to a smaller house.
Okay.
Looks like a small house with a large garage.
Well, it's a 3-car garage, which is the norm these days. The interesting thing is it's detached. I'm not sure I'm in favor of detached garages, but so you're receiving it tonight, and I would assume you're going to send this off to Jim Preddy to have him take a look at it.
Yeah. What about slope and topographical stuff there? I'm having trouble seeing what the where the high point and low point is there.
It slopes from right to left. Right here is elevation 280. Right here is elevation 240. It slopes from right to left. So towards Huntington Road to the northwest. So right here is the high point of the lot, which is around elevation 280 or 260, excuse me. And this is 250, and here's 240. So there's about 20 feet of slope over about 250 feet.
But the water flows uphill to the pond? I don't understand that.
No, this water that comes in here comes from this house.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
It flows from right to left.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
That's why I say we could find out that it's not like there's a water course coming in through here or anywhere else that we can see. And all we can think of is that that's picking up the runoff from this side of Hunting Hill, and it's sheet flowing over and just getting put here. Why, I don't know. She didn't know why it was dug, or she didn't remember.
Mm-hmm.
What's the pipe that you've got? What is that? Is that it's to the left of that the bottom of the wetland?
Well, I'm sorry, what's that?
There's a thing called pipe FND, pipe found, I guess.
Oh, that's a corner pipe. That's a property corner.
Oh, okay.
Property markers. We found most of the monuments in the corner markers. And so you mark those on the survey maps. You're talking about right here.
Yeah.
That's a property marker.
So,
Paul, how's the stormwater going to be managed on the property?
It's sheet flowing. Here, let me go to the next page. There's a storm. You'll have to forgive me. I'm a relative novice at doing this stuff. There's a erosion control plan, which is sheet C3. Can you see that one? We're just proposing to sheet flow it over. We're not providing we're not providing any outside detention. We have a spreader right here to pick up the to pick up the overflow from the garage and from the drive here into a spreader and then spread it out over here. But we're not proposing any infiltration or on-site detention of any kind.
So that looks like it's going to flow into the road.
Well, there's a set of catch basins right here. So the water, whatever comes out of here would spread over here, get picked up in the edge here, and end up in the catch basin.
That corner's a sheet of ice in the winter, by the way.
It seems like the driveway is a very large paved driveway.
I'm sorry, what's that?
It seems like a very large driveway, if I'm reading the plan correctly.
Well, the driveway is this edge here, and then this edge here. Yeah, it's a fairly large driveway.
And that's going to be paved, or is it going to be pervious?
Right now, I think we're showing paved.
Yeah.
Pull up the details. We're showing paved.
What is the current? Is it treed? Is it brush? Is it grass?
There's a tree line here, but for the most part, this is lawn. This is all substantial lawn.
So the driveway area today is lawn.
Correct.
Which is now going to, and that looks like an awful lot of flow between the house and the garage and the driveway. And
we can provide. It's easy enough to provide some on-site detention here. We got plenty of room. If the commission would like it, I'll be more than happy to put it in.
Yeah, I guess one of the concerns I have is there seems to be a lot of water that will head toward Hunting Hill Road with that spreader down near the road there. So I don't know whether the road can handle that, but we could have Jim Preddy look at that issue. So
There's plenty of room in here to put in a spreader, to put an underground detention, I'd rather not put a underground. I'd rather put in an infiltration swale of some kind. But there's plenty of room to do that here if the commission so desires. That's not a problem.
that would probably be smart in my mind. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then we'll wait to see what Jim Preddy comes back with, and then we'll make all the changes in one shot.
Anybody else have some questions?
Quinnipiac has not looked at the septic area yet.
Yeah, they have. We're getting review comments now. This was submitted to them when we submitted to you. There should be no issues with that. That's the least of our.
No problem running it under the driveway.
What's that? No, that we have. We're using concrete galleries there. No.
Anybody else with any questions? I see Josh, studying the map and as a plans to see if he has any questions.
No, I'm okay.
Okay. Dave, do you have anything else, or Gene?
I'm good.
Mary?
Okay.
All right. If nothing else is to be said, then we'll send it off to Jim to take a look at and get comments back to you for next month, John.
Sure, no problem.
All right. Thank you.
He's not going anywhere. He's got the next one.
Yeah.
All right. Next time on the agenda, 91 Forest Glen Drive, their application for site development of property. Mr. Garcia, you're on deck again.
Okay, this is a project that's been around 1998. We've gotten a number of wetlands permits for this site, and I would like the previous files to be included as part of this application. We've gotten at least 2 wetlands permits, or we've gotten 1 wetlands permit and upgraded it twice, and we've also redone some soils testing. What we have in front of you now is, let me get the plans up here. It's is an application to construct a modern type house on the property. It's one of the things they want to do is they want to we conducted a tree survey to locate every tree on the property and to try to minimize, the owners want to minimize the tree destruction, and they want to put in a couple of walking paths. So those walking paths are shown on sheet C1. And the house is designed to be relatively spread to take advantage of the grade and to minimize the amount of excavation they're going to have to do. It's a fairly modern type house, and to maximize their views to the west. So that's, if you look at sheet C1, which is the house, you'll see the trees that are staying. They're taking down about 15 trees in the vicinity of the house, and then they're proposing some walking paths. The septic system is exactly the same as it's been approved a number of times in the past. Here, the stormwater management is, we're dragging it down alongside the driveway on the east side of the driveway through a series of pipes and spreaders, and then across the front of the property to a rain garden located about the middle of the property of Forest Glen, and then from there it discharges to the west of the wetlands.
Will that, where it discharges, affect the neighboring property owner at all?
No, it goes into the wetland. The grades flow from west to east, so it flows. There's a substantial wetland over here, and there's a brook. There's actually an intermittent brook right here, and so it flows into this wetland, so it doesn't flow onto somebody else's property. And that's the purpose of having this collector system, is to take all the water and push it this way. It goes now, to be honest with you. That's the way the grades pitch now.
Would it be possible for you perhaps next month to show us how this plan changes what was previously approved by the agency?
Yeah,
Can you
sure, I
overlay?
can do an overlay for you.
Yeah, I think that'd be helpful to see.
That's not a problem. That's not a problem.
Anybody have any questions?
Good.
Anybody else? Is it, again, this-
I guess the only question I would have, this is Jack, is where are you going to bring in the construction equipment?
They're coming right through this road here. They're coming right through here.
But that doesn't exist today, correct?
That's correct. We would have to construct that road.
Which will become the driveway, I presume.
That's correct. Here's the complete set, which shows the trees being removed. It shows the limits of disturbance. That's sheet L1.
Yeah.
Sheet L2 shows the proposed development, showing the walking paths, the existing rocks. There's a couple of existing rocks which are trying to retain its features. There's one there and there's one back here. There's another walking path back here. There's another rock here that they're trying to save. This is a grading plan which shows how the site will be graded. They're trying to take advantage of the drop off to put this house in. Here's a planting plan, which they're planning on restoring areas after they're done with construction. There's typical details showing the plantings and the boulders. Here's my septic plan, which is a little confusing, and my site details. And this is just the house. This is an elevation of the house. It's a fairly modern house. It's spread out as opposed to being up and down. This is spread out fairly substantially. A lot of glass and trying to take advantage of the existing grades.
I have a question about the paths in the woods. Do you know what they're going to be covered with?
Yeah, they want to use, there's a detail on sheet L5.1. They're going to use a combination of gravel and a combination of mulch.
Okay. Got it. I didn't find that detail.
Depending on where they are, depends on what they would use.
Yeah. The mulch doesn't last very long if it's wet.
If you look on sheet L2, it shows you where the mulch is. It shows you where the gravel is. It shows you all the materials that they want to use in what location.
I didn't absorb all the information. Thank
I
you.
apologize. There's a tremendous amount of material here. The owners spent an awful lot of time and effort to try to get the least amount of disturbance to the site and still be able to use it, because these people like to walk a lot, and that's the purpose of the walking paths.
They should have interconnected them.
What's that?
They should have interconnected them so you can do a loop.
Well, you've got the loop. It starts here, comes through here, goes around, comes back through here, and then
Oh,
here
I
again.
see.
And then they've got
the
two little
other one-
tendrils that go this way and this way.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a little, like a overlook here and an overlook here.
You got it. Okay.
A very detailed plan. Thank you.
Indeed.
Anybody else have any other questions before we let John Paul go and send this off to Jim?
No. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gene, Barry, anybody?
No.
Then John Paul, we'll send this off to Jim also, and he'll be in touch. And we'll see you next month on these couple things.
You're going to see me in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know. But
Thank you
All
very
right.
much, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate the sentiment.
yeah, no, we're always happy to see you. All right. So we'll continue this until next month also. Next time on the agenda are Esposito matters on Wolf Tree Drive at 15 and 21. Attorney Pellegrino, are you still on?
And he's still here, and Dan Esposito is still here.
Okay. All right.
There he is.
Pellegrino, if you want to start off to let us know where things stand.
Certainly. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the agency. For the record, Bernard Pellegrino, attorney with the Pellegrino Law Firm. I represent Mr. Esposito, who's here, and David Lord is joining me. Is that me in the back, or is that somebody else? There we go. Thank you for having us. We're here to update you on where we are. One good thing about the Zoom meetings is the snow hasn't interrupted us. That's one of the benefits. Since we were last together, Mr. Lord has met with Chris on the site, and they've talked about some plans for the restoration plan. He put together a letter that we gave to Chris this afternoon. You all probably just received it. Depending on your pleasure, he's here. He can give you a summary, talk about maybe what the next steps are, get any reaction you have to it, and then we can move forward with either the filing of the application. I would note that there are some things relative to the S&E that he's recommending we put in place sooner rather than later. When the snow clears, put those SOX, S&E stuff in place, and he can tell you more about that. But I think that's where we are, and whatever your pleasure is, David is at the ready. And his computer better be working tonight, because I can't do what I did last month on this one.
Yeah, David, if you want to summarize the report, I did read it and I thought it was good, but why don't you summarize it for everyone's benefit?
Sure, I'd be happy to. The document that was just recently submitted to Chris, and I believe you have copies of it, have been given to you. It's dated December 15th. I've done a number of site investigations on this property, looking at it both with hand tools and also with a small machine. We dug to 4 test holes out there. We determined where the wetland boundary is at those 4 locations. Observations, there's approximately 4 to 6 inches of fill over the original soil surface, which is still present. The plant root systems, the seed stock within the underlying topsoil layer is still present. What we would like to do is remove, or what we are proposing to do is remove that overlying material, the 4 to 6 inches, back to a point 25 feet up gradient of the stake locations in the wetland, uncover the original surface layer, put up some permanent markers, a split rail fence with your marker tags, and do some revegetation work to establish woody vegetation, trees and shrubs within the zone, both the upland review zone and the wetland inside the split rail fence. And the portions further to the west of the planting area, I'm getting a little bit far into detail, but will be re-established vegetationally with an ecologically appropriate seed mix, and will allow the underlying plant material and seed stock in the remaining wetland that we don't proactively plant to reestablish itself through natural succession. For a 3-year period, we'll monitor it, make sure that invasive species do not come into those areas, and provide the commission with annual reports of the progress of the restoration efforts. Due to the time of year, what we would like to do, and I recommend strongly, is that once the ground becomes uncovered by the snow cover, which is presently falling, we're going to place 2 layers or 2 rows of silt sock erosion control or sedimentation control barrier. For those of you that are not familiar, this is an 8 to 12 inch diameter web tube, which is filled with natural compost material. It's highly effective in removing suspended sediments and other contaminants, as in the surface water runoff protects the undisturbed portions of the wetland areas. Putting 1 at the far northwestern limit of the existing grading and filling activities, and 1 25 feet up from the 4 wetland identified locations into the upland review zone limits there. That will provide protection until March, when we can actually physically do the removal of the soil, overlying soil material, and move forward with the revegetation and restoration portion of the overall plan. That's a very quick overview of what I've done so far. what our thoughts are in proposing to restore the wetlands and a portion of the upland review zone on the two properties. And more details will be coming before the March meeting and before we actually start with any activities. We'll certainly be talking to Chris and the commission for any requirements that you may wish to see. I'll be happy to answer any questions or try to answer any questions that members may have concerning what I've just said or what may be in the documents that you have seen.
Yeah, when I read the report, I was impressed with it, and I told Chris we may want to steal it as a template for other remedial actions that people need to take, because it was really well done in my mind. And
So,
my
Jack,
thought is, if you folks can target, getting things in by the February meeting, then we'd be in a position to approve it in March, and then you could begin doing things once the ground thaws out, and the end of March, beginning of April. So that's sort of the timeline I had in mind, if that's works with you folks.
Okay, well, thank you so much. And I'll report that the gifts have been successful. And it's also stored by your. Okay. Bye-bye.
I had a little trouble hearing that, but I think I know what he means. Mr. Chairman, I guess when you say get it in by February, you mean get the application to do the restoration in by that time we get through the process, so that we come out the back end sometime in March, so that the work could be done in the spring. Is that what you're?
Yeah, I was suggesting, get it ready so that we can deal with it in the February meeting. So the end of January would be a good time to shoot for. And whatever you suggest that we need to do once the snow allows something to be done there, if you can meet with Chris and just go over with her on that. We have no problem. In my mind, we don't need to approve that kind of, action. You and Chris can just deal with it on the site.
Yes,
Very
thank
good.
you. Absolutely. I think, from the get-go, we're trying to be as cooperative with the agency as we can. We've kept in close communications with Chris, tried to be proactive. Mr. Esposito we've discussed that, and so we will continue to do so. We'll work with Chris on the installation of those socks when the weather permits, and we'll get an application filed some point after the new year, so that we'll get back together again in February, hopefully get that plan approved and implemented in the spring.
Well, we do thank you for your cooperation. Again, I don't want to monopolize the conversation. If somebody else has any questions, feel free to chime in.
no, I'm good. I'm good.
Everybody else okay?
Okay.
All right, then we'll look forward to seeing you in February, or if not sooner. So
Thank you.
Thank you very
Chairman.
much.
Happy holidays to all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
and you folks, thanks for your efforts.
Thank you. Be safe.
Okay, moving right along. Next item on the agenda is 106 Seymour Road. John Paul, you're up again.
Okay, this has been the subject of a number of reviews by the commission. We submitted it for a formal wetlands permit. We got the engineering review comments back, and for the most part, there was nothing of any great shakes. He wanted a number of notes added to the drawing. I sent back a response and said, no problem, would be more than happy to. He was looking for a bond, and there should be no issues with proposing a bond. He had a question regarding, Chris, can we share the screen again?
Yep, you've still got it.
Okay, so can you see the screen?
No,
Okay, hold the phone. How's that one?
no. Oh, there you go.
Okay, we can see the screen now?
Yep.
Jim Preddy had a question regarding this ditch and this little spreader, and then this here. And what we propose to do is, there are two very large man-made ponds on the site, encompassing approximately 14,000 square feet. If you've been out to the site, you've seen them. They were stone lined. This one feeds this way into this pond, and then down this way out into the under Seymour Road. The drainage from this area and this wetland here feeds into the larger of the two ponds and drains out through here again into Seymour Road. And so what we're proposing to do, we're not proposing any on-site detention, because 1 inch over the impervious area that we have here is about 500 cubic feet, or 6,000 square feet, an inch thick. You know, you've got 12,000 feet of pond here, and you've got another 1,500 feet of pond here. And so it was our feeling that you had more than sufficient man-made ponds to handle any slight increase. And if you remember, this pond especially was lined with some nice vegetation. So you've got your treatment facility right here. So that's what we're proposing. Just sheet flow across the site here, and this to pick up any road drainage and put it in here, which is what it looked like it was designed for. But that's the only comment that Jim Preddy had. Other than that, he wanted a bunch of notes added, and he wanted a bond posted. And to give the commission an opportunity, if you want to postpone acting on this for another 30 days to give Jim a chance to respond to my comment, I have no issues with that.
Yeah, that would make sense in my mind. Plus, is there a bond calculation out there yet, or is that something to also be worked?
I think that would come when the time comes to pull the permit. But again, we can get that resolved between now and in the next 30 days. We can get that resolved with Jim.
Yeah, that'd be my preference, to have the number resolved
Okay.
before we vote on it. So,
That's fine. We can do that.
all right, this thing's been before us a number of times now. So, if somebody still has questions, speak up now. That's for sure.
No, I think we're in good shape.
Anybody else have anything?
Nope.
Okay, we'll continue this till next month and try to clear up those last couple issues. Chris, do we need an extension on this? Are we out of time, or?
You received it last month,
Oh, okay.
so you're fine.
Okay, it just seems like it's been here forever, so that's why I asked.
It has been.
Yeah, it's just in its first permit form now. So.
Oh, that's true, because all the other months are really just discussion and conceptual discussion on the thing, so, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're kicking everything till January, but I guess we need to have something to do in 2021, so. So if you and Jim can, work out those last couple issues, then
Sure.
hopefully we'll be able to dispose of this in January.
I would be more than happy to, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, I appreciate it. All right, moving right along.
Thank you, and have a happy holiday, everybody.
Yeah,
You too, John.
Okay, next item on the agenda. New England Brewery, 1710 Litchfield Turnpike. As most of you know, the brewery is seeking approvals to build a new brewery restaurant at the corner of Litchfield Turnpike and Bradley Road. Previously, the site was approved for that housing development there. The development here is more than 100 feet from any wetland area, but when we considered the housing development for that site, we did give a wetlands review of it based on drainage and the effect on the West River, et cetera. So the question we have to think about today is whether we want to get involved in the new application for the brewery, or whether we just let TP&Z handle drainage issues through its process, and Jim Preddy is their consultant, and Chris is there also. They keep track of any drainage concerns. That's kind of my my view that we really don't need to get involved in it, but that's a discussion we need to have, so.
Yeah. So there's no wetlands and no upland review area here then? It's just
No.
complete drainage?
No.
There was a map that you got that shows where the wetlands are, which are on the back of where the Willows is at 225 Amity Road, and Dave Sacco is here from TPA if you need him. But anyways, and he also on that plan showed where the wetland review area ends.
Oh. I'm trying to.
So all of the driveway parking and whatnot is to the east of the building and away from the on-site wetlands. And I'm pretty comfortable with the fact that Jim's going to be reviewing this for town planning and zoning. He's going to know what he needs to do with the West River.
I certainly would agree, and if anything pops up, then, we can be included if needed.
Yeah. Yeah, fine by me.
Yeah, sort of, it's like the sooner the better, nothing like a nice fresh brew.
Right.
Well, if that's the consensus, like I said, it is a fair distance away from the nearest wetland area. And I think Jim and TP&Z can handle drainage issues same way we would anyway, so. So is there a consensus then that they don't need to come before wetlands and they can proceed just with TP&Z approval?
Okay by me.
Okay.
Okay,
Yep.
all right,
Hey,
I don't think we
Dave,
need to-
thanks for being here.
yeah,
Okay, thanks for your support.
Okay.
thank you. All right, next item on the agenda. 220 Seymour Road. Chris, anything we need to do? Oh, that's a request for reduction of bond.
Yeah.
Where do we stand on that? Suggestions?
My recommendation would be to reduce it, and hold back like 5,000. We do have the plantings that are there. He needs to not be mowing, which he understands. I was out there and he's already started to not go in there. He's got some very heavy lawn stuff that's in there that he's gonna move out. And then once that's out of there, there's nothing else in there except the plantings that were done. He does want to have a wood chipped path that goes down to the pond. Every other house on this pond, whatever you want to call it, does have access to the pond through some kind of trail. And his son who lives with them likes to fish and would like to be able to walk down and fish. So, if he wood chips it, I don't think that's a big deal. So my recommendation would be to reduce the bond to 5 because the plantings are there. They were looked at by Jennifer Benno in the summer and the plantings are thriving. So, what can I tell you?
How much is the current bond?
It's 20,000. So if you released 15, we'd hold 5.
I'm good with that. Anybody else have thoughts?
Yeah, as long as you're okay with what's going on there, Chris, I'm okay
Yeah.
with that.
He's,
I'm okay also, yeah.
I mean, the site's, definitely in better shape. He does have some equipment there at the moment. He's working on the trees that are at the front. There's some dead stuff that's in there, so he's trying to cut that, but he's not doing anything back towards the pond itself, so.
All right, then do we have a motion, this one, we finally get to vote on something, do we have a motion to reduce the bond to $5,000?
Yeah, I'll make the motion to reduce the bond to 5.
I'll second that. This is Dave.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, everybody, any objections? Otherwise, we'll count everybody as an aye. Okay, so that's approved, 5-0.
Yeah.
Chris, anything else as far as communications or letters we have to talk about or notices?
No, I think we've kind of covered them all in the course of the meeting.
Yeah.
Um,
And as far as site visits go, I don't think there's really anything we can see yet. So probably once we get comments back on the various applications, because we've got like more things going on than usual. If somebody has questions about seeing a site, then we can deal with that at our next meeting, I guess.
Okay.
This is Barry. May I make a brief suggestion, please,
Sure.
going forward? I particularly would like to get Bob's opinion and Chris's opinion on this from a town perspective. It seems to me that we're getting more and more of these cease and desist orders, and everyone says that they are not aware of the law, the regulations. And I'm thinking perhaps if the town could put something on the website or in the tax bills, then this would eliminate, preempt a lot of the remedial activity. We've had 3 cases tonight, and if obviously like Mr. Esposito, he didn't want to do this. Perhaps surely he did not know what the regulation was. If he had known, he wouldn't have done this. He wouldn't have had to hire an attorney. So perhaps, what do you people think? Can the town do something to preempt this type of thing?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. You know, Beth has that email she sends out every Friday, basically, you know, the town email. Maybe something in there would be appropriate too, or an insert in the tax bill, or, you know.
Or I don't know if there's a new welcome kit when someone checks in to register or pay the taxes. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, welcome.
I can check if we do have a welcome kit. Certainly, we can put, as you know, I do Bethany, and in Bethany, we have a couple of different notes that we put in the town newsletter, you know, for different times of the years to remind people that they need to do wetland permits. So certainly we can do that. I can send you, you know, what we've been doing up there, and you can look at it. And if you want to modify what we do, that's fine.
But basically, I mean, I think you'll all agree that if we can preempt like the 3 cases that we dealt with tonight, then it would be in everybody's best interest. Correct?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I like the idea of in the newsletter, because then they get to see it more than just, you know, rather than the tax bills, because like
It's a much more benign medium.
Well, and you know, we changed it so like in the spring we were, you know, or early winter, we were reminding people, hey, if you're going to do a pool, you know, you may need a wetland permit and that kind of stuff. So although truthfully, I kind of catch it at this end now through the building department, that kind of stuff. What I'm not seeing is when somebody just decides to cut trees because it's going to look nicer.
Yeah, sure.
But certainly, yeah, we can do something.
Just
Chris,
a suggestion. It's up save everybody a little bit of work.
Yep.
And a few letters.
Yep. I'm running out of paper to write on, guys.
Yeah,
Use the back.
that's great. Great idea, Barry. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and Chris, if you want to just circulate, you know, after the holidays, whatever, you know, Bethany does, the format it provides it to the people, then we could talk to Beth about doing something a couple times a year, just reminding people that, you know, there are certain regulations that everybody has to abide by, and et cetera.
No, because we do it in the monthly newsletter that goes out. So
Yeah.
we can do that here. It's easy. It doesn't cost us anything.
Yeah.
It seems to me we need to work on the landscaping companies. They come in and they just go ahead and start this work, and the people who hire them are relying on their expertise too. They come in and say, yeah, we can clear this dead stuff out. So they, oh, okay, great, that's what I want done. And all of a sudden they've trampled all over the upland review areas and impinged on the wetlands. And
Yeah, you know,
they'll have a bit of power in a sense, you know, by virtue of the fact that whenever you hire someone, you're relying on their expertise.
yeah, no, it was. I was telling Chris, I was when I saw the Rittman Road site down the street from my house, I had just come, I was on Peck Hill Road, and I was looking on Peck Hill Road across the Wolf Tree. So I said, oh, let me drive down the Wolf Tree and take a look at what was done there again. Then as I left Wolf Tree, I see these machines in the mud next to the stream, pulling out stuff, and I said, oh. So I wasn't in the best mood when I got there, and then so I said, okay, I got to say something. This is ridiculous. So then
We
Chris
don't
went
even
out there and
know
did
about
the
everything
illegal
that takes
stuff.
place. There's some that
Well,
we
and then I
can't
go
see.
out and they're still working. And I said, so you were just visited by our chairman. What part of stop work did you not understand? And it was like, oh. So then they stopped.
Yeah, they did after that. So, and like we said, the homeowner is usually the innocent party in this because they just didn't know. But we just got to educate people better. So anyway,
Yeah.
not to belabor it because Chris still has to drive home through the snow. So I'm going to keep things moving.
Yeah.
Any other enforcement things we need to talk about, Chris?
No, I think we've discussed all of them for tonight.
Okay, good. So the last thing is just the minutes from the November 18th meeting.
And the meeting dates, I stuffed them in, although you can act on
Yeah.
those in January if you need to, but
Oh yeah, I forgot. I have that someplace here.
that was the last minute stuff in the mailbox thing.
Got it.
Except for Jean, because
Yeah, I got it. Through the email? Did you email it to me?
Mark, who helps out here at the town hall, dropped off your packet. He said that was a big packet to stuff in that mailbox.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. I watched for it this time. Didn't want the mailman to take it away later.
Yeah. So you want to talk about the minutes first or the meeting schedule? What's the pleasure?
Well, I read the minutes. I couldn't find anything.
No, I didn't find
Likewise.
anything either.
I know,
Look
they look good.
I only had two little things. The bottom of the first page, where we talked about the regular meeting in December 21. It should have been the 16th today.
Right.
And then on page 2, 3/4 of the way down, where it says a response to questions by the member of the agency, the Styriac. The Styriac was just spelled wrong, but other than that, I didn't catch anything else. So.
Yeah, well, I'm only good on grammar and spelling. I don't know those things.
I don't know if anyone else had any comments. So if not, we give a motion to approve the minutes as presented with those corrections.
Jane?
I move to,
No, she can't.
I'm not, yeah, I haven't been seated, so.
Oh.
Oh,
I move to approve the minutes.
All right.
Okay, Josh moved. We have a second.
I'll second it. Okay.
Who seconded it? I'm sorry.
I'll second it, Barry.
Oh, Barry. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, we're all set with that. Just so you know, too, I was in touch with Josh Lemon, just asking him, be sure everything was okay. And he basically just told me he's been really, really busy between the kids being home from school at times and work and that. So that's the reason why he isn't here. It's not like he doesn't like us or anything. So, and that he's okay. It's not that something's wrong, but he'll be back at some point soon. Anything else? My computer says my battery's running long. Anybody have anything else that we need to discuss?
You want to carry over the meeting dates till January?
Oh, that's true too. I can't find my list, but if everybody else says they look good, that's fine with me.
I had no conflict. I checked actually all the dates. Very thoughtful to Miss Yom Kippur.
Anybody else have any problems with them?
no, they look good to me too. You know?
And then why don't we, why don't we just, I don't think we need to vote on that, Chris, so just that they're approved.
This is fine. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
All right, anything else that anybody has?
No.
Best wishes to all of you for a peaceful holiday season and a safe and healthy new year.
Yeah.
Everybody wear their masks because it's not over yet. So
No, it's not.
we're getting
That's
there.
for sure.
Vaccine.
Yeah. Can Woodbridge get its own private supply?
I don't know.
Well,
Let's hope.
we've earned our money tonight. This is the longest meeting we've had in a while. So
Yeah.
anyway, but yeah, I guess it's a good sign there's activity in town. So, unless we have something else, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
That's Jack.
Jack.
Do we have a second?
Yeah, I'll second.
Dave seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. 5-0. We're done for 2020.
Hey, happy holidays, everybody.
Take good care. Be safe.
Healthy
Here now,
and
everyone.
safe.
Yeah.
Aye, bye.
Good night. Good night.
Night.
Thank you.